Hey, what's going on, guys? It is the Visoki crew back again to do another spoiler review for one of your favorite Marvel movies. It is Garrett and Charlie again. We'll have to get Brady in on one of these at some point. Um,
Yeah, definitely.
Even if it's just like I know he doesn't necessarily know as much about these movies as everybody that would like. I'm sure there'd be people that would know more, but the thing is, the guy sees the movies. He could at least talk about what he thinks, anyway.
Yeah, exactly. It's always good to
And
have
no one's
opinion.
gonna care because let me be honest with you, I only know like so much. I my knowledge extends to a certain distance. Anyway, that's not what we're here for. We're here for the spoiler review of Avengers Endgame. If you have not seen Avengers Endgame and you're going to see it later today, this is not a regular review. I'm going to give you every opportunity to leave before the spoilers start, but please, please do not come into the comment section and say, I didn't know there were spoilers in this. I can't believe you spoiled that for me. I've given you every warning possible. If you get mad, talk to Brady because he's not even a part of this video, and just talk to him, and he'll explain to you that we that we gave you every warning. Okay. So spoilers. If leave now. We don't want you because you don't know the spoilers. We don't want to ruin it for you. I want the
Exactly.
views. I don't care if you haven't seen the movie, your view doesn't matter to me because as much as that sounds weird, I don't want you to get spoiled for this movie. It is going to be a better experience for you. And I have a feeling if you don't see this movie in full without having, if you hear a spoiler going into this movie, it will likely ruin your experience. Because this movie is got a lot of moving pieces to it. And if one of them is not slotted properly in the way that it pays off, you're gonna like fall out of it probably pretty quickly because how self-referential this movie is. That's probably considered a spoiler.
Yeah, there is so much to unpack in this movie.
So let's start there.
It's real.
Let's start
Yeah,
some minor spoilers. The references to different parts of the last 10 years. The first one came when Iron Man is back in 2012, which, by the way, that leaked like 2 years ago.
yeah.
That whole sequence leaked. You know they probably completely lost their minds when that leaked. I can't believe how much has gotten out about the MCU that we just didn't know because we didn't know any better. I mean, Ruffalo gave away the big one, but that's pretty big too, honestly. And that also got leaked. I mean, not only did it get leaked, images got leaked.
Yeah, the set pictures or whatever. Yeah, I mean, the set pictures even went as far as seeing the shit on their hands. And when you see Iron Man, show that thing for the first time in the movie, you're like, oh my god.
Yeah, I mean, so we won't get into the main plot yet. We'll stick to that stuff. The other really cool reference. I mean, there was a couple major ones. Obviously, when they go back to the 1970s to the Shield base that was originally Captain America's, I guess his home because it's kind of where he lived with the Howling Commandos, more or less, during World War II. They go back there. This is like the third time they've been there in the MCU, by the way, in the original movie, in Captain America 2, and now in Endgame, which is just beautiful structurally wise. But I think the coolest reference out of the whole thing, and this is a major spoiler. Apologies, but this is a major spoiler. The biggest reference in the whole movie was Iron Man going out the same way he came in and saying, "I am Iron Man." The amount of payoff in that moment just sang. I mean, I'll get into why in a second, but I mean,
yeah.
um,
The payoffs in this movie, like you just said. I mean, there's so
another
many
example. There
good
is
feel-good
something
payoffs.
that I'm not going to spoil because it is worth keeping, even in a spoiler review, because I want you to experience it yourself. Actually, screw it. It's a spoiler review. The moment when Cap finally gets what he wants is so satisfying. I mean, we've been waiting
Absolutely,
for that
man.
kiss for like 10 years. I mean, like, well, more like 9, but whatever, like whatever it is. Like, we've been waiting for a long time, and honestly thought at this point it was too late. Cap was never going to get it. I guess that's what happens when you introduce time travel. But yeah, and I'll get into why I don't think that's going to be a good idea going forward.
Yeah, because now the timeline's in 2023.
That's true.
That's where they're at. I mean, there's
Yeah.
no. I don't want to speak yet. So that's where they're
Well, yeah,
at.
so it's
kind
further
of,
in the future, but I mean, to be honest, it was going to have to be anyway because everything kind of got blown up on Earth. So, I
No,
mean,
yeah, exactly. I think that was one of the big theories was, are they just going to have it still in 2017 and everyone's memories wiped?
oh my, no, yeah, I didn't think that was going to
Nope.
happen.
It's like, no,
No,
man. It's
by the way, let me point something out that I thought was kind of really, really bad, actually. This is actually the only bad thing in this movie I can say. Um, was Captain Marvel in this movie?
So yeah, my sister thought this too. I mean, they could have
Okay, let me
theoretically.
explain. I know she was in 5 minutes at the beginning. She's in the opening bit where they're with the group, and then Thor likes her, and then I don't know. She just leaves at some point
I
in the
mean,
next 5 years.
they could have kept it, going for her going to other planets to fix it. But I think that would have.
One haircut
You know what I'm
transition
saying?
away, and she's just gone.
Yeah, I mean, I think if they would have had a camera following her in other planets, it just wouldn't have connected. So I see
Well,
your point, and
there's
I know what
there's
you
an
mean.
interesting idea about not using her.
About what?
You could just not use her. I mean, that's also an option.
I
I'm
mean,
just
the
saying.
big
I mean, they
payoff is
didn't
she gets
anyway.
the
Look, I'm
win.
saying, Charlie, they didn't use her in the movie anyway, so they just may have not. I mean, I understand they wanted to try and sell Captain Marvel, but like, it seems kind of like WWE tactics of selling your movie, in my opinion.
And in essence, she gets the big payoff of getting. She's the reason that
Does
they
she
win.
worth the payoff when she's been gone and just kind of seems like everything is irrelevant on Earth to her? Does she even care about Earth anymore? It doesn't seem like it. I understand she's
Yeah,
got bigger fish to fry, but like Thanos is kind of the biggest fish to fry, and she just didn't want anything to do with that.
and then she whooped his ass.
So what you're telling me is she knew this was happening, obviously, or she wouldn't have come back, right? But like, she just didn't come back because she's like, they got it. They've got this under control. Like that was disappointing. I also wanted to see her suit in quantum mode, but whatever. Um, so what did you think of that sequence of the movie where they're going back in time actually, and they're actually back in? They're in. Let me think of the movies they went to. They went to. Well, actually, they went to a bunch of them. They went to. First, they went back to Avengers 1. Then they went back to. Oh, sorry. I'm completely going off train here. Loki's alive and back and escaped, and it's Loki from 2012 that escaped. So it's evil Loki.
Yeah. I mean,
That's
yeah.
going to screw some things up, man. You remember what the Ancient One said about the Infinity Stones being gone, right? That's going to cause all things to go out of whack. Because I think
We'll
that
have to
was
see what
thrown
they
in
do
there
with
so
that.
that you would miss it. Because not you specifically, Charlie, but people would miss that because that was said when a stone is taken out of where it's properly supposed to be. Which this is why I think this was an alternate universe because there shouldn't be stones. I mean, if they're gone, they're gone. You know, you can't go back. Like I said, there's not supposed to be a way you can go back and get the stones. It just doesn't work. At least not in the comics anyway. I guess comics kind of out the window at this point, but you're not, as far as I'm aware, you're not supposed to be able to do that. That just seems too convenient, right? But at the same time, what would make sense, and I think Banner says in the movie, that's not how quantum physics works. Is you can't do that. What I think happened was they went somewhere else. Not somewhere else in time, but somewhere else physically. And I mean like another universe. And the reason why I think that is because of the stones. I just don't think there could be stones. That's the only reason it holds me up because she says in that movie everything's going to start going crazy. Timelines are going to get crossed. Things that you might not want are going to start coming around without the stones.
Yeah, and it was
What
that was
immediately
if you
happens
don't get
in
the
that
stones
universe,
returned.
Charlie? Thanos from another universe rains down. That's exactly the kind of thing she was talking about. You may end up causing more problems than you prevent by doing this, you know?
Yeah.
And she was right. I mean, we don't know what the aftermath is actually going to look like. All we know is that spoilers, major spoilers, you should have seen this coming. Thanos is dead. You should have seen it coming. They're not going to keep
that
it
motherfucker twice.
He is too. Yeah, I know. Oh yeah, let's talk about that. So the first 5 minutes of the movie kind of implies that it's not going to be the movie everyone thought it was, and then they're like, "Haha, just kidding. It is the movie you thought it was."
Bro, that popped me when they fucking sliced his head off.
It did. It did. Everybody in my theater, everyone in my theater, kind of was like, "What?" Because the people sitting right in front of me had seen a few of the movies, so I don't understand how you walk into this theater after only seeing a couple of them.
Imagine the people that didn't see Ant-Man.
Ant-Man and the Wasp, anyway.
I mean, they have no idea.
They do a good enough job of explaining it. I mean, for what an MCU movie needs for like the big explanation for how they're going to win. I mean, it's not like okay, so it's like the plan doesn't always have to work, right? Like, so they can tell you about something that doesn't make any sense. I think the technology that they use in Wakanda to raise the city was like more or less just repurposed Tony tech. So like,
Yeah.
you kind Charlie, it's tough. You got to kind of like give and take with the realism in this, like.
Yeah. So I'm thinking let's run through like some overall thoughts. One thing I wanted to point out, I thought Hawkeye's character was the best that it has
Yeah,
been.
so telegraphed. And they had to open it that way too.
I think this was his best movie, and I think for a lot of people because he's the one that always gets
He
the
is
most shit.
Finn from episode 8 right now, in
And
my opinion. Should
I
have
thought
made
he
the
was.
sacrifice.
I kind of think he was the Rock. I don't know. See, I disagree. I think he was kind of like the unsung hero of this movie.
What did he do?
It's just his character was awesome.
He couldn't even get the stones there at the end. I thought that was going to be his crowning moment, and maybe he was going to die doing that.
Yeah. Damn, it sounds like So I thought
I'm shocked at how many problems I actually had with this movie.
I thought Korg and Meek was awesome. I think so.
That whole sequence in Asgard's awesome.
We gotta get the ending here. So
do we?
Valkyrie is the queen.
Do we have to talk about the ending?
And then now Falcon's Captain America, dude. What the hell? I mean, that's all. Like,
again,
they really set up.
I know too much, Charlie. This movie was telegraphed for me, unfortunately, because I knew all the news. I knew there was these series coming out. I knew this like 2 years ago, or not 2 years ago, but whenever they announced it. You know what I mean? Like I knew this like 6 months ago or whatever when they announced all the streaming stuff. I wish they had not announced that stuff. I know they have to for marketing purposes, and probably for contract purposes, they have to announce that this is what they're doing by this point. Otherwise, they can't do it. But like, it kind of ruined a lot of the payoffs in this movie for me because I knew they were coming. I mean, I knew what was going to happen with Hawkeye's family. I think that was pretty obvious. I mean, they set it up in the trailer. Again, telegraphed, like I said. I knew Cap was going to be done in this movie in some way or another. I knew Tony was probably going to die because Robert Downey Jr. is getting old. I knew Gamora probably wasn't really coming back, even if she did, I'm glad they didn't do the Soul Stone cop-out, too. Some guy got really pissed off in the theater that they didn't do that. Like, oh, what about the people in the Soul Stone? They're supposed to come back. No, they're not. That's not how the Soul Stone works. Appreciate the try, though, because they're all called Soul Gems in the comics. You can't say that the Soul Stone... I
definitely didn't expect that with Black Widow.
I did. Well, maybe not with her. I expected someone to... I mean, I think that was obvious as soon as they said they had to collect the stones. I was like, there's only one way to collect the Soul Stone if it's gone. And I wonder, I'm curious, if you collect the Soul Stone off somebody's corpse, like if you're looting Thanos' corpse, right, for the stones, let's say he had them, would you still have to make a sacrifice for that stone? Or does the sacrifice still count off the last person?
Probably still counts.
I'm wondering if Thanos actually didn't have the stones and they actually just go back to different parts of the universe when you use them. That would make more sense.
I thought Ancient One had a nice spot.
That's what I was saying. Really that telegraphs for you that's what's going to have to happen is they're going to have to travel around. What I guess I didn't get was why they felt the necessity to explain like 3 different times what was going to happen with the twist with Nebula. Like they kind of shoved that down. I know people are dumb, Charlie, but I'm not, and most people that watch these movies are not. So did they really need to show him or show her putting on the gold thing more or less? I mean, they didn't show her physically put it on, but like they might as well have when they took it, when they showed her coming off one nebula and going on the other. Do you know what would have made more sense? Because that was actually a reveal and they just had her go like that, like she does. And they didn't tell you that. And they're like, and then the other one shows up and you're like, which one's which? That would have been a good plot twist. Like maybe what happened, we just don't realize this, is they actually shot the real Nebula.
What do you think about Iron Man having a kid?
About damn time. This should have been in Civil War.
That sets up a lot of stuff, man.
It should have been in Civil War. Does it? I don't think it does.
Cassie being the age that she is.
How does that set anything up?
I think I think a really good thing is the timeline jump was kind of needed.
Well, yeah, I mean, they were going to need to jump time in this movie regardless. I think it was actually said that there would be a time jump or something, or there was implied anyway. There was a guess out there at least, and
no, it's just theories.
Look, I had a lot of thoughts going into this movie, and I think, and I said this like months ago. I think I never was going to get satisfied fully as a guy that's been watching this since 2008. I mean, like, I'm sure lots of people out there have been following it just as long as I have, and they're like, "Oh, well, why are all these, dong thoughts coming out of your head?" And it's like, I'm just saying what's coming to my mind. Like, I didn't necessarily feel like everything was necessary, and I feel like unlike other movies, like Oscar movies, if I was reviewing Oscar movies, Charlie, I wouldn't have a bad thing to say a lot of times because there's not a lot of bad things in those movies. That's why I like these movies so much more because they're not like masterpieces. Not even Infinity War. Infinity War has issues, but not many, but it has them. And part of it being that it's part one of two. With the part two, I felt like Infinity War could have just been we knew this happened, but we didn't actually see it. I feel like the only thing that movie needed to do was to snap in order to set up this movie. And because of that, this is a self-contained movie, but it still feels like a part two. I don't know if that's good or bad yet. By the way, if I'm saying these stuff and you think I'm being negative on the movie, I'm not. I'm just trying to kind of feel where I'm at this point because when I walked out, I was unsure about how I felt, like a lot of people.
When I walked out, I was hyped. That last scene, that final fight got me.
I was ready to do this.
Hyped.
I was ready for this review because I didn't know if I would be awake enough.
Yeah, for real. It's 3 a.m, people. Yeah. We're on the East Coast. I thought Pepper Potts finally being
I hate that was
rescue
leaked.
Was cool.
Everything was leaked, Charlie. Everything was leaked.
I mean, that's just the way it is in modern day now, though.
Is it? Do we have to have assholes that leak everything? I'm sorry for swearing, but I mean, really, do we have to? If you're on the set for this biggest franchise movie of all time, do you have to send out a picture if you're Gwendolyn Christie? If you're
getting paid to do it?
If they paid her to do that, that's stupid. I cannot imagine in any world that any of this stuff leaking was planned. And if it was, that really annoys me because they need to stop leaking the plot points of these movies because I knew them before they happened, and it annoyed me. I need to stop we need to stop covering the news, Charlie, and just review the movies without knowing anything.
I think everyone knew you're at point A, and they're going to get to point B where everyone's resurrected. It's just how do they do it? And then everyone's, the theories were kind of, I don't know, there wasn't too many different things they could do. So it's like
that's what I said. It was kind of like writing yourself into a pretty big corner. And this movie was kind of like J.K. Rowling's 500 pages in the middle of, or 200 or 300 pages in the middle of Goblet of Fire, where she's trying to figure out how Harry got into the Goblet of Fire. And she's like, how did that happen? I don't know. I'll have to write some other chapters around this until I figure it out. Yeah, I think
you
know what, honestly, Charlie, there could be a movie in between these two movies and I would feel it was necessary. Like, I feel like some essential bits of the struggle after the snap were just kind of cut out. We get one scene with Cap where they imply the damage that was done.
Yeah.
That I feel like should have been the core of this movie, and I felt like there was a plan for that at some point because you can tell in the early tone where Thanos gets his head chopped and everyone's kind of sad and just goes away from each other for about 5 years. I was really hoping we would get some actual, really some serious moments. I thought we were actually going to follow Hawkeye through this movie, and we didn't. He shows up at the beginning, and then you don't see him again until probably about an hour into the movie. I mean, which is fine, and then immediately, okay, can you at least admit to me it was a little convenient that all she had to do was talk to him to make him come back? He's been off for 5 years killing people, and all of a sudden you're just going to bring him back. I thought he was going to meet Shang-Chi or something, and Shang-Chi was going to bring him back because he's got but then he was in Tokyo and not Beijing. I was like, oh, so it's not going to be Shang. Okay. Yeah, I think those goons were villains too. They had two spangly outfits. They had to be connected to a villain.
When they set up the line of that he destroyed the whole cartel without them even being able to fire off a shot, I was like, okay, this guy's a badass.
Well, he was fast enough to dodge gunfire anyway, I think. But I
think that just set the tone of damn, do we really want to go get him, or is he a villain now? It's
I think anyone that thought he was going to be a villain wasn't paying attention. In the marketing, he's even kind of shown in a heroic light.
In a way, I'm saying kayfabe, War Machine. You know what I mean? That was his line.
I
Do I even want to get him at this point?
I know, and like I guess my problem with that line was, and I know it's because I'm not in the universe, but like for me, I was like, okay, we know for sure when he says something like that, they're gonna have to.
Yeah.
Um, he now becomes a necessity. It's like when someone says, "Oh, I'm not gonna die in a TV show." It's like, well, you might as well have just signed your own death warrant, you know? Or when someone's like saying goodbye to their wife for the last time or whatever, like whatever. It's always a setup for what's about to happen. They didn't do that for the major deaths in this movie either.
So back to the Loki thing, because my sister had talked about this too. So what I think they did
He's
was
got an Infinity Stone now, so
it looked like that, but then they went back in time again and and grabbed it so they could do their
it
thing.
doesn't
So
change it. It
I
doesn't
don't
change
know
it.
how that correlates. I truly
It
I
really doesn't. No, I'm not even kidding. They said in the movie it won't change. He still has the stone. So what this means now is there's probably multiple copies of some of these stones out there.
could be. I will have to see.
So as far as I'm aware, they don't ever show them destroying the stones, right? Oh no, they sent them back. See, that's the thing though. Did
Yeah,
they?
Cap sent
Did
him
they
back.
really send them back
So
though?
theoretically, everything
Couldn't
that
they just get them again if they wanted to?
sure,
They have the technology. I mean,
but
they
they
don't have
put him
Tony to
back.
operate it, but I'm sure Bruce picked up enough.
They put him back where they got him, and there you go. 5 seconds is like 5 years, or whatever the hell it was.
Well, like 70 years. But still, like, oh. By the way, that he shouldn't age with the serum. Not like the way he did. Anyway. Again, these are nitpicks, but I'm sorry. It's something I knew they were gonna do, and it bothered me anyway. Even though I knew it was coming. I was like, I'm gonna see an old Captain America in this movie. And I'm not gonna like it.
True. All right, let's
Because yeah, let's wrap things up. I just want to add in the reason why that is Charlie is because the original soldier serum in the comics was used on White Nick Fury, and White Nick Fury is like 70, 80 years old when they meet the Avengers. So he's already got a super long lifespan. So if that wasn't incorporated in a Caps thing, it also is what makes him look so semi-young. Is that he's been around since the same time as the Howling Commandos, just or maybe even before because they were testing on him before. Anyway, he just doesn't age physically. So that should be in the Cap serum. I guess, again, it's a different universe. It's a different serum. I don't care. It should still count. Anyway, these are my minor complaints about the movie that you can file away in nitpick zone. But you should have expected this, those of you that are watching this review. If you watched the Shazam review and you watched the Captain Marvel review, you should have seen this coming from me. I've been overanalyzing this for 10 years. It's going to keep happening. But yeah, so let's go to grades. Charlie, what do you give this movie out of 10?
I'm gonna give it a good 9.5.
Okay.
I think I think it was by far my favorite Avengers movie, and I don't know. It's hard. I don't like to say it's my favorite right off the bat because I could have said that probably about others. So I'm gonna let that simmer. But I think I thought that fight scene, and I don't know. There's so much emotion in this movie. There is so much emotion, and
And
yeah,
there's really only one fight scene, really, that's an actual fight scene in the movie.
and it's awesome.
I just thought about that first. There's no real fights in this movie. There's like the initial scrap with Thanos, and then the individual scraps they get into in their own universes. But most of what happens to them in the time travel isn't like physical fighting.
Whereas like Infinity War is one big fight.
The end is one big fight. The
Well,
beginning is
there's
set up
just
for a big
fighting all
fight.
movie in that movie.
Well,
And this
Thanos
one's
just
a little
fights
different.
everyone because he has to fight everyone to get the stones.
Yeah. So yeah, go ahead. What are you thinking?
An 8.7 because I don't think I'm willing to give this a 9, but I'll give it something close because I need to sit on this and see it again because
Yeah, I feel like you definitely need to see this movie more than once. 1,000%. I would say that no matter
but I don't
what.
think I'm gonna wait. I think I'm gonna wait till it's on Disney Plus or something like that. If it is, so because Captain Marvel is gonna be the first one on Disney Plus probably. So, unless they do them in like chronological order, which would be interesting if people want to catch up.
Yeah, for sure.
If You had a favorite moment in this movie, Charlie. What would it be?
God, there's so many I liked. I'm gonna say, I mean,
It can
I'm
be
a,
something simple. It,
I'm a
it doesn't
Korg and
have to
meat.
be.
I'm definitely a Korg Mark. So when he's fucking playing Fortnite, dude, I was laughing my ass off. We never talked about Fat Thor. That was fucking bold, man. That's a bold move, and I respect boldness. To do
I
that
respected
is
it at first. I
bold.
kind of expected him to be not Fat Thor after he got the
Also,
hammers back, and he
also
wasn't.
Captain America fucking wielding the thing,
We didn't talk about
dude.
that. Yeah, that's probably my favorite moment in this whole movie because they set it up in Ultron, like literally like 5 years ago. I
And then
mean,
Thor was like, "He is." I knew it. He said, "I knew it," because he was like, "Damn, he is
because he
worthy."
knew. Because if you remember, if you're gonna go back and watch Ultron now and be like,
Age of
"What?"
Ultron.
In Age of Ultron, Thor gets worried when he moves the hammer, so he knew.
Yeah,
So, and his face doesn't become. It goes from shock, or like pure like I didn't understand this. How can someone else be worthy? To oh, he's worthy. That means that's gonna be his weapon one day.
so I
Thor
would
knew
say
then. Wait, okay, quick question. Do you think Thor grabbed the hammer because he knew what he could wield it, and he knew they were going to need more than one to beat Thanos? Because Thor doesn't need two hammers to channel his power. He really doesn't.
I think Thor just wanted it because he knew that it was
But he
gone.
didn't get it back, so it doesn't matter. I don't care
Yeah.
if he wanted it, Charlie. He doesn't end up with it, so it doesn't matter.
Well, Thor kind of at
He
the end of
wields it for about 5
at the end
minutes.
of the movie, Thor kind of goes on his own way. So it's like, who knows what they're doing with
But
that?
also, they pass that hammer back and forth. Also, that scene where they're like, no, give me that one.
Yeah, I mean, it might be cliche, but I would say when they all came back, I was like, oh
I don't know
fuck.
that that's cliche. I don't think there's ever been a precedent for that outside of comic books for themselves.
And so, but if I'm going smaller scene, I thought when Ant-Man got out of the quantum realm and he's like freaking out and he sees he's supposedly gone and then he sees his daughter all grown up there. I really like that
Don't
scene.
believe the fake news. Scott Lang isn't dead.
Yes, exactly.
So I was trying to tally up before we go. I know we've been going for about 20, 30 minutes. But before we go, I actually kind of want to tally up who's left because most of the Avengers left the planet for some reason. I'm guessing so they can have their own TV shows. I don't know. But I was thinking Falcon and Bucky aren't going to be in the MCU anymore. Neither is Wanda or Vision. No setup for how Vision's coming back. What?
Yeah, we have no idea. I mean, who knows?
Is she just going to make him again? Is she going to go find a stone? I don't know. But anyway, because she'll need a stone. She'll go and need the Mind Stone to bring him back. Anyway. And he won't have his memories likely either. Unless Charlie. Oh my god, they never paid that plot point from Infinity War off.
What's that?
The one where he loses, where they set up that he could put his mind into the stone and separate it from the rest of him.
Yeah.
He should have still been stuck in the stone, so he's just gone. Oh, okay, whatever. I guess they didn't have time for him. Whatever. That's sad. They set that up, man, and that was supposed to be a crucial thing. What was the point of that setup? Man, that actually does kind of suck a little bit. And I knew I'd find something in this review. I didn't want to, but I knew I'd find something. I always do when I'm thinking of stuff. That sucks too because I bet the Russos thought about it when they were recutting it and they were like, "There's no room for this." It probably would have added 20 minutes to the movie, and that would have put it at 321, which would have been bad.
Yeah.
No one would have been up there. We would be still there at the theaters, getting back from the theaters now. Like, no. Yeah, I mean, I don't think I have any other final thoughts. I think my favorite scene in the whole movie was either when Cap picked up the hammer for the first time, although I'm kind of upset we didn't physically get to see him pick it up. But whatever. We'll get that at some point. Oh, no, that's not true. He picks it up off the ground at the end. I lied. But anyway. Wait a minute. Quick question. Is that hammer just gone now?
I don't know what happened to it after battle. I'd have to rewatch it. I don't know.
He has it when he leaves. When he leaves to go set everything back. He has it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Did he leave the hammer maybe also? Probably.
He must have done something with it. Yeah, I don't know.
He gave it to Beta Ray Bill, damn it. All right. Yeah, because that's how it's supposed to work in the comics. By the way, if anyone else picks up one of Thor's hammers, he's just supposed to. I mean, he's not. He doesn't have to let them have it, but is he gonna really be able to stop somebody from taking it if they are able to wield the thing? Probably.
Yeah, for real.
So he just doesn't even try. I'm hoping somebody else wields that hammer, man. Actually, I'm kind of sad they didn't pay this off. When Cap first loses the hammer in that fight, I thought they were setting up that Iron Man was going to pick it up as well, and he just never rejoins that fight.
Yeah.
Like, oh. Again, a lot of not payoff in this movie, unfortunately, even though it's supposed to be the movie of payoffs.
But I think, I don't know. There was so many
This
payoffs.
movie is great at paying off for the last 10 years, not great at paying itself off. Unfortunately.
I mean,
that's fine. I don't blame them. They tried to do what Star Wars is going to try and do and tie everything together. You know what the problem with episode 9 is going to be? It ate 3 hours.
Yeah. I mean,
and
I don't
so
know.
They won't have the time to mess around, Like,
but Iron Man being able to hold that thing's a whole nother story,
What, the gauntlet? No, the gauntlet channels the power. You don't have to be able to.
No, the fucking hammer.
Well, that does have. It could happen. You never know.
Yeah.
I think if any version of Tony was ever going to be able to do it, it's the MCU version that tried to save the world in every way possible, and he never got to wield the damn thing, and that makes me annoyed because there's a variant of the Iron Man suit that is Asgardian, like sort of, and even if it was just for 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Also, is Peter worthy? I mean, his webs are. Or do the webs have the same effect as the coat hanger? Who knows?
Who knows? Yeah.
No. Honestly, I don't know how I felt about there was some recasting in this movie, unfortunately, it seemed like. I don't think they had the same actress for Thor's mom.
I have no idea.
Did you see Dark World in the original Thor?
Yeah, I've seen them all. I
don't think that was the original actress. She could just look different now, but I don't think so.
She probably does, dude.
I could be wrong about that. Anyway, all things aside, it was a pretty good movie. We give our ratings. My favorite scene, your favorite scene. I don't think we have any final thoughts. Do you have any? I don't have any.
I will say a final thought. I think the timeline jump was necessary.
Agreed.
I think for the future of this franchise.
I think the time travel itself is going to be problematic down the line.
I think that's what's going to be what spawns this entire next franchise.
I don't disagree, but I think it's still going to be problematic.
Everything always will be, though.
Will it, though? I mean, the last 10 years was pretty good. There was a few in there, I'll give you, but most of them were pretty good. I don't want them to lose that track record because it's some time.
I'm sure, because this whole next phase is going to be, completely different. So I'm sure there's going to be repercussions from this, and what the Ancient One said isn't going to go unsaid.
Be repercussions. God damn it, Charlie. If there's not repercussions, I'm going to stop watching these movies.
There's a reason the Ancient One said that, and there's a reason why all the next movies are cosmic and shit. So they'll figure it out.
It's just Eternals and Guardians that are cosmic, right? There's no Thor announced for next couple of years, is there? Doctor Strange, I guess, but I mean... Yeah, I guess fair enough. And that's more Mystic, though. Is Mystic... Okay, this is also something we need to figure out, because this is something the comics have no problem distinguishing, but is mystical energy the same thing as the cosmic energy? Because if not, it's going to be really hard for him to fight people like Jean Grey if she ever shows up. Especially with the Phoenix Force or any of the variants.
I don't know. I thought the people that were saying it's a bad movie because the X-Men didn't show up are retarded, but
I don't know who those people are. There's people in my screenings that thought that there should have been a scene where they thought that scene where Cap and Iron Man reunite-ish should have been when they first come together. I'm glad they didn't do that. That would have been dumb. It would have completely negated everything that happened in Civil War. And it would have completely fallen apart the rest of the movie because you needed that setup of them not getting along for everything to make sense for why 5 years everything just stayed the same.
Yeah. Yeah, it should be cool.
Definitely see the movie. If you haven't seen the movie, what the are you doing in this part of the video? Why? This is not a good selling point for the movie. We've made absolutely no sense for the last hour if you haven't seen this movie. Hats off to the Russos for like 4 or 5 years of good work. It unfortunately wasn't their baby, but they made Kevin Feige's baby work. So I hope they get to be the next guys that run the MCU. I would love to see them become producers if Kevin Feige wants to step down. But if neither of those things happen, I wouldn't be surprised either, because this is Kevin Feige's baby. Like I said, he may want to go on the next 10 years, you know? We'll see what happens. Look out for our Spider-Man review in July or whenever that movie comes out. Yeah, this is the last review we're doing, at least probably till Dark Phoenix comes out, right? So,
yeah.
And we may not even review
What
that
comes
like the
out
day
next
of.
month?
I think that one we'll do like a later down the road.
There's so many fucking movies this year.
Nah, I don't know if it's that. I think for me, it's just I don't necessarily want to review that as it comes out, because I don't know if it's gonna matter when we release that, because I don't think anyone's really going to see it.
What's the movie next month? There's something smaller. Oh, it's Godzilla. Never mind.
No, I'm not going to see Godzilla. We can find something else to review in the meantime. I'm sure there's some other stuff coming out, but I mean, like, for the comic book related properties, for now, this is probably going to be it for a little while.
Hey, I'll tell you what. When it's the Game of Thrones finale, we'll do that.
Okay, we'll do Game of Thrones.
That's
cool.
in May. I'll be all caught up by then. So,
is that when the finale is supposed to come out? Oof.
It's the same night as Money in the Bank, dude. So yeah,
I'm not going to be able to watch the Game of Thrones finale. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I don't know what to do in that situation. I'm
watching wrestling. I have too much other stuff that involves wrestling in my life. I mean, I guess not really. We haven't done a podcast in quite a while. Like, actually done a podcast, like, legitimately, on wrestling. So I don't know. I guess look out for that. We might still be doing that.
Well, yeah, we'll still be doing it.
I mean, you know. But anyway, I'm just saying, because I'm just looking back. I was looking back at our channel the other day. It's like 3 months ago, 2 months ago, a month ago, a week ago for the uploads for that stuff. So it's just been inconsistent. But yeah, I've been dragging you on for a while now. Let's just end this. Let's get out of here. You know, if you guys if you're gonna see this movie, I don't know why you sat through this whole thing, because you basically don't need to at this point. Because I'm gonna be honest, outside of the large plot, it's kind of like an episode of Monday Night Raw. Not a lot happened, but it advanced the storyline. So, not in a bad way, by the way. I wasn't making a negative comparison. In the way that Monday Night Raw gets across when it needs to get across in 3 hours. Same with this movie. It had 3 hours to work with, and so it worked with them. Did it work out for every little bit of it? Not every little bit, but most of them, I thought, were pretty good. So, but anyway, yeah. If you guys liked the video, then subscribe and hit the little bell so you know when we go live, not so I know when you go live. That won't help me if you subscribe. If you hit our bell. Yeah, if you hit our bell, it's not going to help me know, but you know, whatever. Yeah, we'll see you all next time. Peace.